ESPN FC on ESPN Plus is presented by the all-new Honda CR-V Hybrid. France, of course, looking to make it 2 in a row. The first side to achieve that since 1962, when Brazil won it back-to-back. Messi against Mbappe. Shaka, this is the final that we wanted, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I think certainly given the knockout stages, best two teams without question. I think Argentina had their best game yesterday and come into this arguably in the better form. And the storylines, just from, never mind who you support, just the storylines between these two, Messi and what would probably be his last World Cup, and then France trying to do what hasn't been done in 60 years, Kylian Mbappe, threatening to be the heir to Pele, who was a part of that Brazil team that repeated 60 years ago. There's just so many ways this game can be spun, can be looked at, so many ways history has taken shape.
3 weeks is a long time for a goalkeeper, isn't it? Inside that head. Argentina are two of the best teams now. I mean, 3 weeks ago, he couldn't wait to get rid of them. 3 weeks ago, he couldn't wait to dump them 3 weeks ago. If he'd only just stayed his ground, unlike Novakovic, if he'd only stayed his ground, he'd been looking now like a right smug sod, having picked Argentina, possibly.
Messi said yesterday, didn't he, that the defeat against Saudi Arabia helped them. It kind of brought them together. Did you buy that?
Well, now, yeah.
I kind of know what he means in a sense, not that I'm on his wavelength with thinking.
Right.
Certainly not in the football field. I know what he means, but it also meant the next game was at Mexico, I believe.
Yeah. Yes.
Just was out of the stratosphere. You know, lose, bye-bye. And that focuses the mind. Maybe that's what he's talking about. That focuses the mind. Certainly probably did his, maybe his teammates. It's not... Look, when he painted it up, him and Scaloni, they said, let's lose the first one.
Right, yes.
That'll focus the mind, because they're getting...
Then Shaka will get off our back.
Yes, that's the key right there.
They're getting a little bit slack, this lot, so we'll get pumped by Saudi Arabia. No. But, yeah, I mean, it's not the way they wanted to start. But I do agree, you know, I heard you talking about it yesterday, I think. Yeah, Croatia, all the possession, but it's the most dangerous Argentina have looked on a continuous basis, particularly after the first 25 minutes or so. And, you know, Guardiola's been brilliant, but he got a little toast of Lionel Messi in that second half, didn't he?
How are you feeling, Jules?
I'm really excited, I have to say. It's going to feel long between tonight, Wednesday and Sunday, of course. And I think you can make a case again for either team to win it. You can call it 50-50, 55-45 if you're more of a Messi guy or a Kylian guy. It doesn't matter so much. I think they're two teams that haven't been playing great at times, as in terms of style of football, but collectively have been very, very strong. Part the Saudi Arabia game for Argentina and part the Tunisia game for France, of course. But for the rest, when needed, they showed cohesion, they showed structure. I think they showed a lot of ruthlessness. There's an edge to this Argentina side, of course, with Otamendi and Paredes and De Paul and those kind of guys. I think there's an edge a bit as well to this France team that approaches the game slightly differently, but we talked about the winning mentality. And also, this is Messi's last ever World Cup match. And I think this is the end of the story for the greater of all time. And then Kylian is still at the beginning of his story, so it's going to be an incredible game.
And while we think of this as Kylian Mbappe and, of course, Lionel Messi, it is 11v11, right? And so you have to look at the balance of both groups. But it's impossible not to focus on the fact that whenever we have thought of Kylian Mbappe pitching a fit at PSG, part of that reason is that he wants the role of Lionel Messi. Right. That he wants that profile. And while they are teammates and while they will see each other once again in the locker room, I cannot help to think that Lionel Messi is just that opportunity. If he needs to hang on from some sort of motivation, some sort of edge, which we have seen Messi with an edge, and I love me some Messi with an edge, it is that I'm still here. And while I'm here, I'm the best. While I'm here, my teams are going to win. While I'm here, you're not the guy just yet, Kylian Mbappe. I certainly hope that Lionel Messi takes that approach, because Messi with an edge has been better than we had expected. We have seen a lot of that in the knockout stage. That bad boy Messi, Argentina wins with bad boy Messi.
Is I think Mbappe's going to have a look at his tracking back, though.
Right.
In the final.
Yeah.
And I know
and do some.
Sorry?
And do some.
Yeah, well, maybe one and a half. And I get it. They're looking for that breakdown, and then they get out quickly, and the fullback's committed. However, is it Molina? Molina?
Well, it would be Molina, yes, that will be matched up.
So if it's Molina, who has got like 6 batteries in his back and just never stops, then it's a game of bluff between him and the Mbappe and the fullback. And I think it's going to be intriguing because they got a lot of joy. Morocco down the French left, the Moroccan right today, particularly in the second half. And then he realised it, Didier Deschamps, when he brought Thuram on and stuck Mbappe through the middle so he didn't have to track. So there's lots of little subplots. I'm presuming Rabiot and Upamecano, if all being well, will come back in, you would imagine, even though those guys today did particularly well. So there's lots of little subplots. But the biggest subplot is, of course, Mbappe and Messi. And the other thing is, why did Messi play as long yesterday?
Because it's Messi.
I was actually getting worried from myself, and I don't really bother too much. But I thought,
no,
if he does his hamstring with 10 minutes to go, and misses the final when the game's 3-0 done and dusted, I was like, oh, that's a bit of a risk.
Frank, it's a proper match, isn't it?
It's a dream, I would say, you know, and you know, even if I deeply think and want that France win, I cannot avoid the fact that having Messi for his last World Cup, you know, winning it will be a fairy tale, and I think the world wants that, according to what we see in all medias around the world, and it's a nice end of era for Lionel Messi. For the game, for what we're going to see in Paris Saint-Germain, I think it would have been Neymar. It would have been a different, you know, way of thinking from Mbappe. I think Mbappe is ready to accept the fact that Lionel Messi is still there and is still the best player in the world, according to what people think, and that him winning the World Cup shouldn't be a problem in the dressing room. Now there is a game to play. I think Argentina are favourites, but we know the mentality of the French players, and they showed again today that without playing well, they're able to win. So that's the tool for them.
Let's take a look at how the bookies have this set, actually, to see who the favourites actually are. Frank said that he thought it would be Argentina. In fact...
France got to be in it.
It is France, who are just... Look, as
really?
Jules mentioned, this is it's going to be a 50-50 sort of tie. We may as well get some predictions, shall we?
Here we go.
Why not? Right then, let's start with him. Mr. Shaka Hislop.
I think Argentina wins this. I see Argentina's favourites. And I'm basing that on their respective semi-final ties. I thought Argentina have grown through this tournament and have saved their best performances for these latter stages, none more so than Croatia. At times, I think France struggled a little bit again, or didn't look as comfortable as you would think against England. I thought that they were pretty comfortable for most of it against Morocco, but still, maybe it was the early goal, so they didn't really need to do an awful lot from there on in. But Argentina shared this, and I think they get the win. I'm going to go 1-0 Argentina.
Oof. Shaka, did you think it was a penalty, by the way, in the Morocco? No.
To be fair, I mean, other people did. Lots of people thought that was a penalty when they played the ball. Why we bother? Sometimes it's don't know why we bother. I might as well switch the bloody lights out asking questions like that. Right, get on.
Could help it. Frank, what's the score going to be?
Wow. I see a draw, and I see it's going to extra time and maybe to penalties, but I will put Argentina winning on penalties.
Double bluff. Double bluff.
Wow. Your appearance money will go down, obviously, Frank, if France wins, so understandable. He's looking after himself.
He upset when he was here at Morocco, apparently. He's now upsetting the French. He's in France.
Yes. Just upset.
There's no end to this man.
Jules, 2 Argentina votes so far.
Well, I mean, I'll go for France, of course. 4 years ago, France won 4-3, as we said before. In Argentina with Sampaoli was a big mess, to be fair. I think Scaloni brought a lot of structure, far more balance, solidity defensively. But I think the way Argentina play could also suit France. And I think France would be very happy not to be the favorite, to be a bit the underdogs and give them the ball and then see what happens. With Messi, Rabiot will be back, Upamecano probably as well. I'll go for a 2-1 win to France.
Ask me about that Morocco penalty again. And I'll give you a freaking answer.
Quite a few people thought it was a penalty, apparently.
The world.
To be fair, we're just canvassing the wrong people. I've got a better idea. Why don't we just hire them? They can come in here and talk about their guff for half an hour. I digress. I'm sorry.
He's not.
The good thing is that
he's not sorry.
The good thing is that you let it go, though.
Sorry.
I'm not really. I didn't even reply to the message. My heart says Argentina for the great story that would be Lionel Messi.
But genuinely?
Yeah. Well, because I've never... I mean, we're talking about Ronaldo, right? Obviously, he's the other player. I think Ronaldo has scored some of the greatest goals. Different goals, headers, overhead kick, all these different variety. But no man in our lifetime, and I never, to be honest, I've only seen clips of Pele, and I definitely saw Maradona, but not as much as Messi. No man I've ever seen do what he does. And I don't mean in the Croatia game yesterday, I just mean in a generalisation for 10, 15 years at Barcelona and now at PSG. What a way it would be to finish his career, certainly at international level. However, I'm not in.
And there it is.
However,
That's a little sensitive moment there. That was special.
You had me for a second.
listen.
I felt it.
I've no hankies. Give me one of those cheap ESPN things. Give me one of those. There's no
plastic flowers.
There's no limit to the budget flowers.
To wipe the tears.
Let me wipe the tears away. However, I'm not here for sentimental claptrap.
Oh
No, really?
The French can cut you open by playing through you, and the French can cut you open by whipping balls into the box with Giroud. They've got more than one way to do it, France. I think they've got more in their armoury, and I just feel they're going to steal the glory away from Messi and Argentina. And I'm going to go for France by 2-1.
While the obvious key for Argentina is having Messi fully engaged and having Messi impacting the game in manner in which he did in the semi-final, defensively, the key may just be don't allow Antoine Griezmann just to float around, and I don't think Argentina will allow that to happen. Frank just mentioned some of the names that will be in that midfield for Argentina. Those guys cannot wait to kick the backside of Antoine Griezmann all over the field and make this about physicality through the midfield, not just floating around and getting on the ball and being able to turn and then find the next ball. I don't think Antoine Griezmann will be given that freedom from Argentina. That will give the ball to Argentina, and I think Messi takes over. And of course, CONMEBOL heart. I do have some sympathy for the CONMEBOL heart. I'm taking Argentina 1-0.
Rodrigo de Paul's got the Rottweiler look about him, hasn't he?
That's it. Rodrigo de Paul, Leandro Paredes, all of those guys.
Very much so. Just quickly,
I've got a bit of that Rottweiler about me today, but you asked me that freaking question.
I hadn't noticed
Never
this
ask
was
it
early.
again.
Today.
There we go. Jules, are you swapping Mbappe for Messi if you get the chance? You are, aren't you?
Swapping Kylian for Messi, you said?
Yes.
Nah, Paris born and bred forever, you know. There's no chance. I would not swap him for anybody.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.